It is Wednesday, the 10th of October. It is 9:53. I am joined with Harry and Chris live from the UK Global Tour bus and the awesome Robin Campbell on the panel tonight. We're linking up with the guys on the live link for the Global Tour. Sorry, my dog's just going crazy now that I've gone live. You guys were out in Aberdeen today. Today was a monumental day as far as I'm concerned. You've gone through a few smaller towns. And today was one of the bigger locations. And I say this, the bigger location definitely paid off. Another thing I just want to say is I've not come in with any intro this evening. So I just want to give a little second for everybody to mingle and get themselves into the chat room. Again, I just want to appreciate everyone that's taken their time out this evening to join us with the live link on the Global Tour. So hello to you all. I'm not looking at the chat room yet. I just want to ascertain first how everyone's doing and give Robin a massive shout out for yesterday. Awesome job you did on Sun and Moon yesterday, Robin. I was tuned in. I watched you guys on there, and it was a really good conversation that you guys had with Nicholas and Costa, Astral. It was really good. Well done, babe.
Thank you. No, it was good fun, and thanks for asking me on tonight. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Aww. Right, it's a pleasure to have you. I know you guys were knackered last night, Harry, Chris. The day definitely out of you. So me and Jason went live yesterday on you guys' behalf and gave everybody a rundown. Because I know we're dealing with everybody all across the international flat plane of existence, right? And we're moving in very different time zones. So we thought we'll give everyone a rundown of what happened on your behalf.
Fantastic job you both did as well. Awesome job. Yeah. As I was saying before we went live on air, I feel the main basis of this when hitting the street is a delusional feeling that people are 10 out of 10 aware of things, and when put on the spot and put against the wall, the breakdown, and they're obviously not 10 out of 10 aware. Nobody is, you know. So the delusional effect that we think we're aware of human beings, the ego taking over. The fact that you discussed that for the whole program, I thought that was brilliant. Good.
Cheers, pal. Cheers. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. And like I said yesterday as well, in Inverness, some amazing conversations went down yesterday. We had a pilot that reckoned he was going to show us the curve and showed us a flat horizon. So that just goes to show, isn't it? The kind of level of conversation people are trying to have. And today was even better, in my opinion. Today was a smorgasbord of walkaways, spaz outs, cognitive dissonance in their face like that. There was walkaways. There was people that rocked up and said they were flat earthers for years. There was Sheeps and Neeps came out, and a few other people came out as well. Do you want to...
Yeah, can I say a huge thank you to Des, Sheeps and Neeps. He came with a friend and he stepped right in there and supported us, and he took part in the street activism. He's very good at it. He kindly... I was running out of time to get back to the van for the ticket running out. So Des kindly took us in his car and took us there quicker. He gave us a lift back and spent a little bit of time in the van with us, his friend, and had a good chat before we had to go. So, Des, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And also Scottish Steve, who comments regularly on YouTube channels. He didn't know we were there. He was just passing by, and he's seen us. He went off to the shops and bought a lot of goodies for us to eat and to drink and refreshments. But he had to be somewhere else. So, thanks to Scottish Steve. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the cake.
And also Graham, who came out, who was offering to charge up the equipment from his lorry. He sent a message the other day. We talked about that. So he turned up there and gave a lot of support. He's a fantastic guy. I wish I had more time to speak to him, but he had to be off. But he was there in support. So all those people came out to help us. Thank you so much. Fantastic.
Yeah, massive thank you. Massive thank you. It definitely showed. There was a lot of people around the banners today. You went live 2 different times. You did live 1 and live 2. You moved locations, like you said at one point. How did you feel? What was right and what was wrong with the first location?
Well, the second location we walked past and thought, that's a great location. We walked further up and we seen this spot, and the time was getting on a bit, so it was a bit derelict, and we thought it was sheltered, but it couldn't be seen by as many people as we thought, and the buses were so close, so there was a lot of traffic noise, and it was in a wee corner.
So we had a load of pigeons above the banners, and some random lady came in to put feed all over, over the banners, and the pigeons started to land on the banners and pigeon poo.
So it was Graham that mentioned to go down to actually Market Street, which was one further on than where we were, but there's two places either were good. So that's the main, as I said, that's the main part of Aberdeen, and it's got 4 crossings and lots of buses stopped there, so it was the most prominent focal point, I thought. Got a lot more attention in the first place we were at.
I've got a little clip that I want to play from the first live. You spoke to a couple of public school boys. There was a few people in the chat room that were able to give us the name of the school, quite a prominent school. I don't know if you know the name of it, Harry, but there was a few people in the chat room that did. I can't remember what the name of it was now.
Is it Robert Gordon's school?
Pardon?
Robert Gordon's, maybe.
I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it.
It's a famous school in Aberdeen. But the only reason I approached him was because I have a weird sense of challenging people who are extremely against what they're looking at or laughing. Now, the boys were laughing hysterically, so I thought I'd move in and challenge them why they're laughing. And would an intelligent person condemn without inquiry, and would they laugh at something they're not inquired about? So that's why I like to challenge that perception.
I think it worked out.
I'm not sure. As I say, I can't see the wood for the trees sometimes, and so I have no really idea of how this has all come across watching it from on third party. So I'm interested in how it's perceived, I suppose.
Go, Roxanne. Go, let's see.
Huh?
Can go for it. I've got some after comments as well when you're done, Roxanne, on these.
Lovely. Yeah, we're probably going to have about 15 minutes now of giving you a Globe Live match of the day version of a quick synopsis of some of our highlights. And this is just some of our highlights. When I mean some, I want to stress the word some. This is a small collection of a plethora of highlights throughout the day. But I just want to play this first one from first live feed from today. Let me just get this done. Yeah, the first live feed today included these 2 young boys. So yeah, I'm just gonna fire away and play.
Do you 2 young people think that science should be open to being questioned?
Well, yeah, no, yeah.
Should it be open to?
Can
we all speak at once, please?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think science should be open to being challenged and questioned?
Yeah.
Even its foundations?
Given a solid argument and proof of that argument.
Okay, and do you know the solid proofs and arguments against science claiming we live on a heliocentric model?
I don't know them off the top of my head, but you can 1,000% get them up.
And you're obviously at Celts Academy, a reputable school. Is it intelligent to dismiss without inquiry?
Well, no, I have inquired and I've looked it all up, and it's quite.
So you're condemning without inquiring it?
Well, no, I just said I did inquire it.
You did inquire?
Yeah, and I've looked it all up. And
are you aware of scientific experiments that prove that the Earth does not move?
What experiments are those?
Nicholson Morley experiment, Halley's failure, Sagnac, all mainstream peer-reviewed scientific reviews. Why have you not heard of those?
Well, because they're not respected by most scientific communities.
Well, they are. The written historical facts, scientific literature.
Well, how come when like a boat's going over the Rhine?
Well, I'll answer that. Yeah, I'll answer your question. But can we say the question I asked you? I'll ask you, why are you not aware of that?
Why do you know what those experiments are?
Right. Okay, can I suggest to you then what you're being taught is selective. You're not being told the whole historical kind of science related to the heliocentric model.
Sure.
Okay, would you accept that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know you two think this is crazy because I've seen you laughing at it by now.
I don't think it's crazy. I think it's funny.
Right, most people think it's funny until they research it and
Right.
become more informed evidence that we're being told. Now, when you were about 5 years old, you were taken to school and you believed in Santa Claus probably, and you were told you live in this spinning ball with water around it, and you believed that without question, didn't you?
Yeah.
But because our critical thinking, I'm including myself in this, my critical thinking hadn't developed. I was naive, I was gullible, I was impressionable. I believed what my parents told me, what the teachers tell me. Why would they lie to me? So my critical thinking hadn't developed at 5 years old. But from that 5 years old, we form a conclusion to where we think we're living.
Right.
But there's no actual proof that we live in a ball with water around it. But now, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
17.
17? You're both 17? Would you consider yourselves open-minded?
Yeah.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how open-minded are you, sir?
10 being what?
Very open-minded.
So like an 8.
8. Okay, that's one. And yourself?
Like a 7.
7. Okay. Right, I'm going to ask you a question here, but please don't answer the question straight away as if it's a program response, as if your teacher told you that and you tell without an inquiry. So, as a young adult, with your independent critical thinking, tell me how water can conform to the exterior of a ball.
It can what?
How can water conform to the exterior of a ball?
Gravity.
Now, you answered that very quickly.
Yeah.
Can you be honest in telling me that's a program response or a knowing?
Yeah, that's how gravity works.
Yeah,
the mass is in the center.
The gravity goes towards the center of gravity of the planet.
Okay, right, I believe that as well. I'm asking, how do you know that?
Well, like Einstein did a bunch of stuff on gravity. Newton did a bunch of stuff on gravity.
Okay, a bunch of stuff is not exactly truthful.
Well,
Is it?
how did all the other planets form into a sphere?
Well,
If it's not going towards
let's not
the
run
center of
before we
gravity?
can walk. Let's say we're one question. That information was given to you without any truth, is it not? I don't want to run, as I said, we'll just take one step at a time. Information without any proof, is that a fact or not?
Yes.
Well, no, you can find proof everywhere.
Perhaps in like
I don't
primary
think you can
school
find
stuff, but like
the proof until you start.
there are
basics.
proofs further on in school.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to establish where we get our knowledge from and why we believe things. But you and I, or the three of us, accepted that knowledge without any proof. Is that true or not?
I'd say so.
I'm not saying it's not true, though. I'm saying at that stage, we accept that because we have faith and belief in the people who are telling us it, right? But we still can't prove that for ourselves, and we have no evidence. And it's not primary, it's secondary information. Is that not true?
Yep.
Right. Okay, so I would suggest to you that we repeat gravity because we've been socially conditioned to proof. Now, the theory of gravity holding water to a ball has never been proven to this day. And science should be, would you agree with me, science should be demonstratable, repeatable, and measurable.
I'm pretty sure you can test gravity pretty easily.
Okay, can you tell me how?
I got a penny in my pocket, I'm going to drop it, and it's going to hit the ground. So, like,
That old chestnut.
Okay.
that just happened. Where's the mass?
Oh, Ruben, how many times does that happen at Speakers
With all due
Corner?
respect,
Oh, crikey.
you've not proven to me there's a force pulling that bench to the ground, have you?
That old chestnut. How many times, guys? How many times has someone done that at Hyde Park, Harry? Like, Ruben, you're in the chat room. Like, it happened in Portsmouth.
Yeah, I try not to leave at that point.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the one I've got from the first piece of content. I know the chat room have got quite an opinion on this just now as well with these young guys, and I think it's a great representation of where some of these young minds are at. They're so fully centers that they can't actually see the forest for the trees, can they?
They're in a smog, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a smog of educational. What did they say? Something stuff science.
Yeah,
A bunch of stuff.
There's
A bunch of stuff science.
Yeah.
But this is not
a bunch of stuff's not proof, is it?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to let you guys go back to John Smith Globe Live's channel. The link's in the description to go back and look at the first live. That was a one clip from there. We had so many to look through that I wanted to keep the bulk of it on the second. I'm just going to give you a little snippet of the start of the live, just to give you a general synopsis. And Harry, can you just give us a quick rundown of where it was you were in Aberdeen today?
Yeah, we were in Union Street, which is the main street in Aberdeen. And we're halfway up the main street, the busiest crossing in Aberdeen. I forget what you call it. Yeah, the park is behind us, and that's halfway up the main street with a major crossing of 4 roads emerging at the crossroads.
That's like a high density place, yeah, in Aberdeen. That's got a lot of traffic. I saw a lot of traffic in the background. There's buses going past every 2 seconds, not even 5 minutes apart. There was like buses going past constantly and loads of people on the bus. It looked busy.
Yeah, it's the main crossing in Aberdeen, yeah.
So there you go, guys. That's where we're showing you now. This is exactly where they were today. And then I'm going to jump through to about 9 minutes in a second, and I'm just going to see where the banners are. Like a monument that you've got it on there.
Yeah, I think it's I never pay attention to these. I think it's because the majority of them are warm and warm. But I never pay attention to them. I think we should be making statues of peace movements. People who try to bring people together rather than warmongering.
Is that you have time for a statue, Harry?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to play this clip now from about 9 minutes. You said these boys were about 17 years old, yeah?
Yeah, they're 17.
Okay, so we've got some more youth here giving you their synopsis on things. So I'll just
Country filming for a YouTube channel, asking people's responses, whether it's negative or positive. So, what's your first? Can I go there because the traffic noise is too? Can I ask you what your initial response to this is?
So, what is this man?
All right, we're questioning the validity of us actually living on a spinning ball.
Oh, like a sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe you live in a sphere?
Well, I suppose so, but it's flat out because I haven't quite looked at that thing.
Oh, I see, right. Can I ask you why you think you live in a spinning ball?
I suppose the obvious question, the obvious thing would be, I learned that at school and stuff.
Yeah, and I could ask you if you learned it or if you were told it.
Told it.
You're told it, yeah. So, how do you verify living on a spinning ball, do you think?
Was that like how it's like dips? You know when you do like you see you heard that like water lake thing where they like shine a beam and then it goes lower through the horizon.
Have you ever seen the curvature yourself?
Seen the what?
Have you ever seen the curvature yourself?
The
curve of the earth. Have you ever seen it?
I mean, you can slightly see it when you got like a good.
What are we breaking up for?
No, I think it's the film. Is that Roxanne's or ours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, Harry. Go on. Yeah.
I just wondered if that's your feed breaking up or mine. Did it freeze or is my computer freezing? I'm not sure.
For me, it didn't. No, not for me. No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's probably mine now. It's fine.
Yes, NASA using the fisheye lenses.
Right.
And you know how fisheye lens works?
Not entirely.
It curves things.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
So nobody's actually ever seen the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah.
And we're asking for proof of claim.
Yeah.
Now, when you were 5 years old, like I was, they take you to school. Probably the time you still believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And they tell you lived in Spring Ball, Waterman. How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
19. Sorry,
18. So now, as a young man with independent critical thinking, can you tell me why you think water can form to steer the ball?
How water can form to a ball? Well, you can't really, I suppose.
Because nowhere in nature can we replicate that.
Yeah.
We cannot observe water conform to steer of any shapes.
Yeah.
Because water always drops to the source point and lies level.
So you're saying, like, if it was a sphere, the ball would just fall? Or... It would just fall off, maybe, like a ball.
Well, that's what would happen if you put water in a ball, would it not?
Yeah.
Okay, you're supposed to suspend your natural observations.
Yeah.
And believe water can conform to exterior of a ball.
Yeah.
Even though science cannot prove that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you agree that science has to be demonstrable, measurable.
Yeah.
Which it never can.
So when it comes to like, so you're saying like NASA and stuff, do you think, why do you think like they would be telling?
The land, not proof. There's been claims of people seeing further land.
Yeah.
But the Antarctic Treaty was signed by 58 countries, stopping us from exploring that far.
So I've heard about the ice wall thing. You know,
yeah. There is evidence of an ice wall, but I can't prove it. But there's certainly proof that the Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1958 by 52 countries, stopping you and I from going there independently exploring.
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to go that far.
Yeah.
Now, the world's longest photograph taken is 273 miles, showing a horizon, an island's on the horizon.
Yeah.
Now, that should be 3 miles below the horizon, according to the official curvature trigonometry. Okay, so the fact that we can see all these things prove that we're on a flat plane, a stationary plane, because we're not moving anywhere, but we're supposed to be spinning fast and spinning fluid.
The only thing that makes us question the flat plane mainly is a lot of people reference like NASA and like how they're telling the lies, but then you have to include also the number of other space organizations, and that's a lot of people.
Yes,
that's a lot of lies. So would you say that's just how it works? Like they're all telling lies?
Have you seen the film The Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to give you a red pill at this point. Okay. And it depends upon how much your social conditioning or brainwashing has cemented to believe what you've been told without any proof. Now, I'm going to tell you all these stations, space stations, work together. So they're all under one umbrella. And when they tell you to fear Russia and Russia fears you, that's not true. That's to keep us divided and in fear of each other. They're working together. The world conglomerate. $1 a day to present you with cartoons and CGI images. They're also, I think, I can't prove, they're hiding further land. So we're kept in this little spot here, which is Earth. There might be farther lands out there that we can't ever get to because we're contained like animals in a zoo. So I think you could research and ask for proof, because there is no proof that water can form the exterior of a ball. That's never been proven, and science should be able to prove the claims. Like if you take a plane, for instance, flying on a ball, if the plane's fly level, if it continued flying level, it would fly off from space, would it not?
Well, I know it's the curves. Wow, curves.
I mean, air pilots claim they don't use the curvature when they're flying. They don't take that into consideration. They just fly level. And when you think of it, planes flying underneath a ball in Australia, how does that work? It's lunacy. We all believed that at 5 years old. And we get brainwashed for that, so much so that we never question it again. It's lunacy. None of this can be proven. Now, millions of people are waking up and realizing they just had a belief that they everything they were told. So I'll give you my YouTube channel. This one's live at the moment, but I'll give you a card. That's YouTube. What's your name? Andrew. Andrew, thanks very much. I don't expect you to believe what I'm saying, but research by all means, and you'll find there's no proof that you live on a spinning ball or what's going around it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Again, really, really positive that the youth are asking. He felt his answers were valid. What do you guys take of that?
Yeah, these younger guys are listening. They're paying attention, and and they're not pushing back. I don't think they've got a strong foundation of knowledge to answer back anyway. But it's nice when a young mind is inquisitive enough and not sort of locked in and prisoner in their own world enough to sit back and listen. So that's nice. I mean, that's when Harry can just gently just drop seeds in more and more until you think, well, that's surely enough. You know, take away these leaflets, flyers, and go and look for yourself. Because ultimately, that's the goal, isn't it? You can't be highly unusual to flip someone in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, but to get them thinking and taking away the material enough for them to go, you know, he had several points there, and I couldn't figure this stuff out for myself. I mean, think about how many of us at age 17, 18 had both parents able and equipped to deliver this information. Probably zero. You'd be very fortunate if you had parents who were already flat earthers. So fair play, well done, Harry. That was a good contribution.
Yeah, I thought he was quite open-minded considering his age. A lot more minded than I would have been at that age, I think. So hats off to him. Yeah, absolutely.
Well said. Well said. I've just got another little clip now of just wanted to give a visual representation of how many people were gathered at points in front of those banners. There's a good dozen people in that shot there. I know that if the shot was to pan to the right a little bit, there was and seeing what you guys have put out there. I was so impressed, so impressed. I've got another clip now that I want to play. Just going to fast forward it here. If you guys would let me play this, if that's all right, my darlings. Yeah. With me.
Woman was very wide awake. Yeah. Yeah, she knew about a lot of stuff. She knew about a lot of stuff and was starting to look into flat Earth. Was certainly convinced that she's not 100% yet. Fantastic. She took the card, Harry, and I told her about the PayPal. She said she's not with it. Oh, fantastic. So that's brilliant. Yeah. It's also what we need. Yeah, absolutely.
Good job. Good job.
Getting somewhere with conversations. My throat is killing me. Would take some water. I thought oxygen. Yeah, I've got some water out there. I'll have to get some to eat in a minute. I think we forgot to eat yesterday.
Yeah. Big up the both of you for yesterday as well. I just want to stress that. And now I'm coming to the big run. I suppose if this was match today, this would be the main event, the main match that's about to go on. I'm going to play you a clip now from about 32 minutes into Harry's feed from today. It starts with the amazing Sheeps and Neeps having an interaction with two guys who were pretty full on, actually. They reminded me of the kind of interactions we have at Speakers Corner. They were just, you know, very punchy straight away with what they were coming with.
Yeah, and Des from Sheeps and Neeps, he handled that really well, considering he had two people on either side.
I feel like there's been countless occasions. Mark, I feel like we've had landmark moments where for one, I'm now learning new blueprints for having interactions with people. We're all quick to learn from our mistakes, but I feel like this is a brilliant opportunity for us to learn from successful interactions with people. And I know everyone's different, but so some amazing interactions happened today, and that's why I picked alongside you guys. We've kind of unanimously decided to run this through. It's about 10 minutes of footage. You're going to see the conversation go from Sheeps and Neeps to a couple of girls, and then another girl that comes up. So I just want you to bear with us for about 10 minutes, and I promise you're about to see everything go from the extreme to the sublime. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Absolutely, yes.
Spot on.
Yeah. From feeling so disappointed to feeling elated.
Yeah. So I'm just going to fast forward this straight through, and I really want to give a massive shout out to Sheeps and Neeps. I'm going to put his channel link in the description box. Guys, I'm going to play it from here. 14. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so sit back and enjoy the show.
Have you ever seen water? I've seen water go around corners. Yeah, I know, but I think it's about around corners. You've never got a comb or your hair and then put it aside before you sing. Yeah. Yeah, I have done it. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah, it's brilliant. Sort of thing. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, that's better than it's forward. Yeah, so how is that? So you're putting a man in Mars in 2030. So you'll find out something out. I said they're putting a man in Mars in 2030. So you'll find out soon enough. That'd be good, eh? You can get a ticket. Eventually, check me on YouTube. Okay, right. Sorry. No, you've seen it before. Yeah, I've seen it going. I've seen it going down. They're not. You're not making a wonderful thing. Yeah, this is not a big. No, that's the trick. That's working with. To me, that's what it looks like. I mean, obviously, that's the outcome. Yeah, you're proof to that. Have you ever heard of trigonometry? Yeah, but if you are high enough, you would know. If you see France on Britain, and the space in between is flat. You know, it's only 24 miles across, and that sea is flat. This water's flat. Yeah. So where does the carbon tell? What's it? It comes to 8 inches per mile. So just 24 miles. With the speed of the rotation of magnets, yeah. 1,000 it creates a circumference. Do you feel this friction in the air? Do you feel this? Why would I? Absolutely. Yeah, so you don't feel a sweat. Jump higher. If I was, if you jumped up, I mean, jump high enough, but jump great and jump really high, and you wouldn't land in the same spot, which is really slowly. Helicopter land somewhere else. Helicopters do that. They go up on the day. The ball just go out. No, they go up, they come back down. If you fire a corner ball up, straight up, it falls straight back down. But Earth hasn't moved by 10 miles. So where's the spin? And if I was pushing that way, or anyway, you feel that, right? So your senses and your mind can tell you if you're falling in any direction. Yeah, they're telling you you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. You don't know it. Yeah, you know every other movement. Yeah, you lost that one, and they'll tell you that's gravity. So you can't feel gravity, you can't see it, you can't explain it, you can't do it until you believe it. Why people believe something they can't demonstrate? Well, they have demonstrated. No, they gave an explanation. They have demonstrated. They're saying it's a ball. They have demonstrated. Tell us where they do it on other planets. How the other planets interact with other planets, and also in other planets. Of the minerals. You've played things. Have you played pool or snooker before? So you see balls on the table? Yeah. Is the table round?
Well, the table's not necessarily flat.
No, but the table is flat.
Not
It's
necessarily.
not round.
Not
Just
necessarily.
because all the balls are
That's
round. The table's round. See? In that logic. So just because the balls in the sky, which we believe are balls in the sky, who says that they're balls? We know if we take a hammer to them, they are balls of light. They don't see.
Yeah, Jason, I think the further this tour goes on, I think the less notifications will be. Call me a skeptic.
What if you're down there? If you're at the bottom of the earth, if it is actually, yeah. So you're at the bottom, we're looking up or down. Well, you have to see it, because anybody that supposedly says on the other side, why did you prove it?
Galileo. Supposedly it's top of the bottom of the planet, right?
Yeah.
No, they tell you.
So if you're at the bottom, yeah, and you're looking up, you're actually looking down.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Same as
Yeah, they tell us there's no top and bottom though.
That doesn't make sense. Because we know it's top. Up is up, down is down. Everywhere you go.
But that's if you perceive down at the top.
But then why would they call it north and
There's a
south?
sideways one. If you're like that, why can't you start? If you're on a ball like that, why don't you just take off sideways and eventually you'll come off the side?
But they do them on the moon.
They don't. They go straight up. The moon landing starts out completely different story.
You're saying it's fake, yeah?
Oh, but
That's
How can
a
you
story,
prove,
yeah.
how can you prove it's not real?
oxygen levels, heat, radiation.
The thing is, there's people who've actually jumped out of airplanes from the stratosphere, and they've actually been with a recorded altimeter with them just on the edge before the next sphere above it. They've been hovering above it, and they jumped out and they went down.
They went down.
They went down. Yeah.
Did you see when he left? As soon as he left, what happened?
Well, he had fucking. When he landed, he had fucking pressure on his head, similar to deep sea divers. So
as soon as he stepped off,
the only way you can sustain those injuries is if you're at such a height or at such a depth with atmosphere on you.
Yeah. So there's no doubt that he was at a height.
Or unless he was put in an actual pressurized room.
There's no doubt that he went to that height.
Why would they can't put someone through that much. They could put someone through that much.
I think he went to that height, right? But what happens, right, is when he was on the stage and when he stepped off, what happened? Straight away, he starts heading it. I think he beat a record for the fastest someone had been as well, didn't he? Because of the speed that he went. But as soon as he stepped off, he immediately took off. Where's this floaty bit? Where's this sort of, if you go higher, it starts to be weightlessness. There was no weightlessness up how high he was. It was immediately he was falling. So
he wasn't testing. He wasn't testing weightlessness.
No, exactly. But we've seen
they've already recorded weightlessness from the dog they sent up into Russia. They already tested the weightlessness from that. They didn't need to test the weightlessness. They were explode from multiple functions and stuff. So it's very hard to believe that they're wasting.
Up in the balloon and jumped out, right? That's what the trip was, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying, how can the National Aerospace Association, how can they say that we just spent £1 billion in this rocket material? And then someone wants to say, to doubt.
What rocket through? What rocket?
Any of the rockets of this? Where we go? Anyway, thank you, sir.
Thanks for your time. Thank you. See, it's excellent when it ends like this, even though they're disagreeing on that, they can give it a shake.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, there's nothing to be arguing about.
I know. It shouldn't be an argument, should it? It should be discussing the validity of what we're discussing rather than winning an argument.
Oh, exactly. And I'm quite happy if he pulls off something that I've not known. It's like, wow, I didn't know that. Philip's don't invite me.
Absolutely, yeah.
It doesn't happen that often.
No, you're a good one.
So before we let these two girls rock up, I just want to say what an excellent interaction that was. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yep, go on. If anyone else wants to say anything before I rock on to the next clip, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a good healthy to and fro, isn't it, Roxanne? And to and froing is something that you chew on, and if you're chewing on it, you'll be chewing on it for hours later as well, and you might even get the inkling to go and try and debunk it or look further. And like a lot of people, they say, right, I'm going to debunk this. Big mistake.
Friend, and she rocks up. Yeah. Oh, these two. So let's see.
Ladies, can I ask you a question from my YouTube channel? Yeah. Do you think you live on a ball of water behind it?
Yes.
I could ask you why you think that.
Because the science has proven that gravity works.
Okay, let's say I'm a tiny little child and I'm asking for that proof. What's the number one proof that we live on a ball of water behind it?
Satellite images. Astronauts.
Okay. If I
just want to quickly chime in on this one for the chat room. I know that there's a good few people in the chat room that saw this today. How many of you guys that go out there and speak to people, no matter whether it's on camera or off camera? Because I know there's a lot of you in there that have interactions at work, have interactions off camera all day, every day. And I know that is true. How many of you have had that response from people? Like, that is such a regular response, right?
Yeah, it's called glitch face.
Glitch face.
I'm going to play on from here.
If I take a picture of me and Loch Ness Monster together, would you believe that?
Have you ever seen the ocean from wider?
I'll get onto that.
You can see its curve. Yeah, you can literally see.
If I showed you a picture,
if you showed you a picture of
girl, you got to let me. That's my question. If I showed you a picture of me on a Loch Ness Monster, would you believe that?
If you could believe it was an actor.
I'll get my coat. How do you know it's not been edited or been sent to you by NASA?
Because you can tell. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, like we're from an island, you can tell.
Okay. Well, you know what fish eye lenses are, don't you?
Yes.
The horizon.
Yes.
Now, I would bet £1,000 none of you have seen the horizon curving.
Yes, we have. We literally see it from Yeah, we come from an island, we can see the horizon.
Which island?
Temecula.
I was there a few months ago.
No,
lovely island.
Where is it?
Yes, well, Hebrides, out of Hebrides.
Okay.
If I could say that photographs are not proof of anything, they can be manufactured now. All these
things. But we've seen it with our own eyes.
Okay, I would ask you.
Here we go.
I would ask you, have you got proof of that?
Can I ask you what proof you have that the Earth is flat?
Yes. You can see, as far as I can see, the horizon always flat. You go to the top of the mountain, the horizon always flat.
Okay, so what happens when you go to the horizon? How do airplanes work?
Let me answer the
How do
question.
you fly from here to Australia?
Oh, bless her.
The planes go off the edge. If they were flat, must be like teleport to the edges.
Are you open-minded?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also believe in science.
So it's a belief then?
In science.
Right, it's a belief though.
No, yes, in science.
But you can't prove that science to me though, can you?
Oh my God, let's go.
Okay, we've got to debrief this. Like, that's a lot.
I like the way you classify this one, Roxanne, as a walk away.
It's a walk away.
There's two walkaways right there.
That's it. That's what happens when the indoctrination spazzes out.
What we needed.
Did you hear the hysterical laughter? It was almost like hysteria was going on there. She started elevating her voice, and it's something that happens a lot. What we needed
right there was a couple of parents on on the bollards there, handing out party bags as the kids leave the party. But inside, you want the business card for John Smith Global Line.
Yeah. Real talk. That's real talk. And now here we come to the crux of this piece of content. You'll notice that I haven't jogged it on or moved it on everywhere because this is one continuous piece of content. This is straight from sheeps and neeps to this interaction and then straight into this, which I'm going to play now, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Benbecula, that's the last time I'm going to visit Benbecula. Only joking. Can I see what your response is to
I'm a flat earther. I have been since 2014.
Okay, just before I play on, her opening statement was, I'm a flat earther. I've been so since 2014. We've gone from two girls walking off hysterically to 2 seconds later, someone else walks up and goes, I've been a flat earther since 2014. Like, so my darling, if you ever find this piece of content, I just want to be the first to give you a round of applause for just going about your daily business and coming across these banners and rocking up to Harry. You have no idea what moment you walked up to him on. Yes, she witnessed what just happened, but there is something with synchronicity. You couldn't make these scenarios up, right? You just couldn't. This is one continuous piece of content, and I think it's really a good way of showing the roller coaster of interactions you'll have with people. You have people that are hard work, that will go off and look at it, people that will completely laugh it off and be walkaways, and then someone out of the blue will just walk up and go, thank you for doing this. So sit back and enjoy this next few minutes of, as I say, visual gold. Right, well.
Can I shake your hand? Are you on YouTube? Do you mind my YouTube channel? Yeah. It's when have you been a flat earther?
About 12. My brother opened me up to about 2014.
Oh, wow.
So a few years.
Fantastic.
And then my first port of call was Michael Challenger stuff, looking at that. And then obviously Eric to be.
Just stand here in the traffic, sorry.
And then Eric to be stuff. And that was kind of the gateway into it. And then since then it's just been personal research. But I'm on loads of the Facebook groups and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really good and got awesome links.
And did you come across us by chance? Or?
I spent the time in Sweden this year.
Oh,
I
excellent.
took a couple of pictures to put on my Facebook group.
Oh, fantastic. It's just absolutely fabulous to meet fellow flat earthers. We met 3 or 4 already here today.
Awesome.
There's 2 in the background there, one over there. Somebody else brought some food and refreshments. That's absolutely great.
It was funny because I didn't know that there was a lot of flat earthers in Aberdeen. And I'd actually went on eBay to buy my brother a flat earth map that I had seen, and I thought that's awesome. So I went to buy it, and the guy messaged me and he said, sorry, I don't usually do this, but I'm from Aberdeen and I don't know anybody else that is a flat earther from Aberdeen. So his name's Scott Rafferty. We ended up hooking up when we went to NASA came to Aberdeen like last year. Oh, it was ridiculous. So we all got together and we went and we were asking them questions, making them feel well awkward and stuff. So yeah, that was it.
Fantastic. It's so refreshing when you meet another fellow flat earther. Yeah. You feel a bit affinity with them.
This has made me so happy today seeing this out here.
Oh, you made me so happy to come out here. It's just great to see fellow flat earthers.
Yeah, it is good. It's just that I actually thought, and it's probably naive of me, but sort of maybe 3 or so years ago, I thought now by 2018, 2019, surely enough. Oh yeah.
But I really believe it's not wasted time because okay, they'll laugh at it, but back and tell someone else, and they'll say, well, actually, I've been looking at it. Oh, you have over here. Yeah. So it's that a domino effect sort of thing. So even though they're laughing today, maybe the second or third time somebody mentioned it to them, they'll think, oh, I should have spoken to that guy.
Yeah. It kind of, the thing is, if you can open people's eyes up to certain things, it kind of opens them up to more. Like, for example, today I'm on a Facebook group that I don't know if you're aware of. Yeah. So I'm on a page like that, and then there was someone posted like, oh, just out of curiosity, how many do you believe that Earth is flat? So loads of us were like, me. And then he obviously started arguing, and I never realized there were so many people on that group who were flat earthers. So it's good because then you can go back and you can chat with them, you can give them links to other things. So it's awesome.
I think there's more chances of meeting flat earthers who are into other truths
You know.
Yeah.
And this, of course, this is the biggest one of all, isn't it? Biggest live.
Oh god. But then you've got your videos on
Yeah.
YouTube that are the biggest live of all. That's
Yeah, absolutely. That's my YouTube channel there.
Awesome.
We're just live at the moment. But we're going around Britain doing 50 odd destinations.
Oh really?
We just did Ireland. Oh, what a reception we got in Ireland.
Oh really?
Oh, lovely. It's really good. About 12 flat earthers in Dublin.
Oh cool.
So we were hoping more to come out in Scotland, but we've got about 5 here today. So
it's a shame because I honestly never seen anything about this. And if I had seen it on social media, I would have said to the other people I know in Aberdeen, and took it down.
Well,
so,
we've been advertising for the past month and a half on my channel and other people's channels. Yeah. So we have Facebook pages on it as well.
And is there your Facebook page on here?
No, not on there, but it's just a Clove Lie on Facebook.
Okay, I'll need to.
If you go to FE Start, that's where a lot of us have channels there and recommended further videos. So
I'll definitely do that. How long?
We're not about another hour, but if it's good, we might stay longer.
I'll go and I'll send out a couple of texts and get
some. Fantastic. What's your name?
Sarah.
I'm Harry. Very
nice
pleased to meet you.
I'm looking forward to seeing your channel.
Excellent.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Awesome. Awesome.
What a very nice lady.
That's where I'm going to leave the highlights from there. So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to stop screen sharing right there. I'm going to go back to here. And here we are back again. So that was a collection of highlights from today. If you want to see any more, go to John Smith Globalized channel. The link is in the description. And you'll be able to see all the content that's been uploaded from the Globalized tour and everything else that Harry's done. That's really amazing. Guys, what I want to ask you one by one. I'm going to start with you, Robin. What is your synopsis of the kind of interactions that we've seen over the course of the day in Aberdeen?
In Aberdeen, I mean, obviously, you've got a good contrast. There was one more interview which you didn't highlight today, Roxanne, which was I think was the last gentleman of the second Aberdeen live, which was a guy who was, I think he was coming in sideways. I think he has flat earth friends and he's been debating for some time, because he came in with a bit of a sideways way of not attacking the arguments, debating healthily, I would say. And what was nice is if you watch it right to the end, you see him go through each element and then not concede, but I could tell that in the past, I think he's won many battles with other people and was quite confident in the beginning. But by the time he'd finished with Harry, I think he had a lot more on his mind, which is, this is what this is all about. Because in 1 second session this afternoon, Harry's seen the two girls who gave him glitch face and then walked away. Someone who's like just totally awesome, who just, you know, you want to see people like Sarah all day long. And then you got this guy who's probably like I say, won a few battles in the past, but I'm not so sure he's going to be that confident anymore, because, you know, Harry just gradually wore him down on his arguments. So I love it. It's such a mixture. Like you say, it's a smorgasbord. proper ploughman's.
It really is. It truly is. Harry, Chris, what's your take on Aberdeen today, meeting everyone that you met today and having the interactions that you had?
We've had some really intelligent people coming up to us and asking really relevant questions. I had a guy that dealt with satellites every single day, so he said, and he knew about triangulations and all the maths and everything. And also he flew as well. So he was a pilot of small planes. And he offered to take me in the week to show me how I could control a satellite. Apparently, he says he's got a camera on it and he can use it to show me the curve of the Earth. So I thought it was quite strange, but he did offer to let me go and see it. And he also did commercial drones that go really high in the sky. He was in business doing that. So he had a lot to say about things. And he knew all his stuff. We had all the usual arguments. But the one thing I got him with was the 8 inches per mile squared. He didn't believe that was true. He didn't believe the argument because he says, no, it's nonsense. It can't be that. And he's a very bright chap. And the last thing he says is, go and look when you get to your office at the curvature calculation. And I know when he does, he's going to be scratching his head and he's going, oh Christ. Because I mentioned it quite a few times, but unfortunately, he didn't want to be recorded. So we didn't get it on camera. But that was the best one for me today. But they've all been throat achers because they're in-depth conversations. Every single conversation about today has been in-depth.
I'm wondering if anybody's seen that guy with the hat on, cap. He was supposed to be a geologist.
I spoke to him after this.
Yeah. It's such a shame. I think I said on camera at the time, it's such a shame that when you have people in a specialised field, their specialist expertise, yet, they just feel so confident that they don't want to go on camera. I don't quite understand that. Why would you be so confident in your specialist field of proving this wrong, yet you're not willing to go on camera? I think they fear being challenged about what they have, which is a belief rather than an actual scientific information or knowing. So
they're on the run.
Yeah, well, they become on the run because they don't want to be on the camera to be proven wrong or to have their beliefs questioned.
Yeah, good response on that. What would you say was your highlight communication that you had today?
Well, I think you know that one. That's lovely Sarah.
Yeah, she's my favourite.
Do
you know what? I know sometimes people say timing is everything, but her timing couldn't have been any better if she tried. I mean, it's great when anyone turns up and says, I know I'm not living on a spinning ball, but it was 15 seconds after people have walked off laughing that she's walked up and gone, no, I take this seriously.
Yeah, I think it's even more appreciated because of what just happened previously.
Yeah.
It's just classic.
Yeah.
So
again.
Yeah, sorry. I gave Sarah my YouTube card, so if you're watching Sarah, fantastic. It's a pleasure to meet you. And it's just so humbling when you come across another flat earther on the street, as you well know, Roxanne. So,
yes, thank you.
Yeah, massive thank you. Guys, while we're here having this part of the conversation, I just want to give a massive shout out to everybody that's taken today to tune in to us tonight for this live link. I want to give a shout out to Rick D. Thank you so much for tuning in. Siddy, my darling, thank you for tuning in. Siddy, you came to Speakers Corner once, didn't you? So I've met you in person. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in, my darling. Zoo Scott, thanks for tuning in. John Thor, my darling, thank you for being here and being the awesome mod that you are. Jane of Torquay, sweetheart, thank you for tuning in. No One's Flower, Nora, thank you for tuning in. Stan, looking forward to Friday. Thank you so much for being here. Further up the list, I've got Everybody Equals, Mind Controlled Square. Thank you for tuning in, my darling. Cheers for that. And further up the list, we've got Anders Ace. Thank you for tuning in. Flat Out Chord Music. Thank you for tuning in. Stephen Watson. Thank you for tuning in. Zoom Truth. Thank you so much for tuning in. Further up the list, I'm trying not to miss anybody. And I'm trying not to repeat. Jason, thank you.
Marilyn tweets in the house. Roxanne.
Marilyn, thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. Jason of the DISBURY family, thank you so much for being here. And keep going up the list. John James, thank you so much for being here. Flat Earth Pilgrim. Mark, thank you so much for tuning in. The Real Hat Fits, thank you for tuning up the list. Yes, Marilyn, Spirit Level, thank you for tuning in, my darling. Blood is thicker than water. Fellow Ladriette, thank you for tuning in. Flat Plain Oregon, thank you for tuning in. Keep going up the list. I'm going up the list. I don't want to miss anybody, guys.
Did you say Tony and Richie B? From Yorkshire. Both from Hull.
Tony, Richie B, thank you so much for being here. Prep Seeker, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, to you all for taking the time out to tune in to us this evening. I want to say a big thank you. Time will
Could I say a few thanks to Roxanne, because it's quite a long day. I didn't get back to the caravan until about 8 o'clock. So I can't get on any communications or people who have donated for that time. So can I just say a big thank you to Lee Earl, who we all know, we met him, and for his great contribution. Just thank you so much for that. And thank you for everybody else who've donated in the past 24, 36 hours into the GoFundMe group. It's really appreciated and helps us keep the wheels on the road. And especially a thank you to John THOR and his great mum Gwen. They keep putting contributions in almost a weekly basis. And Gwen is a retired pensioner, and she's still putting money in. And I almost feel about guilty about accepting it because it's just fantastic contributions, almost on a weekly basis. So thank you both so much for doing that, and everybody else who are contributing towards funding this trip. It's amazing.
Massive thank you. Massive thank you. I also wanted to say to all of the links for this evening, I'm also going to put some links for Sheeps and Neeps into the description box. There's a couple of other things tonight and reiterate some things that we stated to you yesterday. Where are you guys going to be tomorrow?
Yeah, just for that, could you also find Scottish link as well? Yes. Scottish Steve. Could you put his link in the box if you can find it? Because he always leaves good positive comments, and he came out today to give all that refreshments to us and food. So a big thank you to him. Tomorrow we're going to be in Perth. The weather doesn't look good. It's 50-50 for rain, but hopefully it'll be light rain, and we'll get out there at some point midday and try to find the most prominent business spot in Perth tomorrow. Hopefully
Awesome. Another thing I wanted to mention as well, 28th of October, you guys are going to be rolling through Speakers Corner, London, Hyde Park. There's been a few date adjustments. All the locations are still going to be done. The dates have just been shifted around. I noticed that Robin and Jason had shared those dates into the chat. So I just wanted to reiterate information that was in the chat box earlier on for anybody that's just tuned in. So the Globe Live Tour is going to be rolling through London on the 28th of October. They're going to be going to Speakers Corner, Hyde Park, London. The
van's prominently in Hyde Park Corner.
Yes.
Either going around it or as close to it as possible.
Yeah. And it's also good iconic locations around London to cause a wave and get thousands of eyes.
I think going round and round.
Everywhere iconic around London. We're going to try and get that.
I think going round and round cause quite a star. As you know, we're moving very small actually. Very busy and very a big white van like us going around that would be very.
Fully agree. And as I said with Jason yesterday, I want to fully reiterate that it's a come one all event. Come one, come all. If you pertain to know you don't live on a spinning ball, then it's your truth too. It's not just ours, it's yours too. And we've got an opportunity here to make a big imprint in the general public. So if you are up for going out there and talking in the public about it, please by all means come to Speakers Corner. At this stage, the truth's bigger than all of us. So it's okay if we're not each other's cup of tea. We don't need to be each other's cup of tea. The truth's bigger than all of us. So there's no one that's not welcome. By all means, if you're able to get to Speakers Corner, Hyde Park on Sunday, the 28th of October, there's a cafe in there. If you don't want to talk to people, but you just want to show solidarity and observe what's going on and maybe chime in if you feel to, because there are a lot of conversations that break away, and there are a real lot of real life trolls that are there to try and control the narrative and claim that we're from the Flat Earth Society and stuff. So you will see that stuff for yourself going down in person, and you've got a chance to evoke some change and to get out there into a historical place in London where people do evoke change by going there in person to speak the truth. So I want to extend that to anybody that's watching within reach of London, whether it's 50 miles, 400 miles. If you can get to London on the 28th of October, I mean that. Also, the 3rd of November, we are just about to mention, bear with us, we've got a couple of locations up for conjecture. And we're going to London for the 3rd of November. The press will be there. And you will be on film. So if you're not up for being on film, don't come. But if you are up for being on film and have putting your 2 cents worth in, by all means, come along. This is your truth too. The reason we're doing this whole tour is to make the country we live in understand that they need to start questioning what they've been taught, and they need to understand that this subject needs to be socially acceptable before we're going to evoke some kind of change, hopefully within our lifetime. So like I said, if you know you don't live on a spinning ball and you want to talk to people about it in public, come to London on either Sunday the 28th of October or Saturday the 3rd of November. So
can we stress when we're meeting later? It's going to be free. There's no cost.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, let me just let my dog out. Carry on talking. Go for it.
Maybe Robin can say. Hopefully, the price are.
Sorry, yeah, Robin. If you want to chime in and accentuate on anything that I've just said, please go ahead.
Yes,
I've just said, please.
So if the press have been we want as many flat earthers to come as well, and to show that self-worth. We hope we'll be hiring somewhere for that to happen. Certainly not charging anything for it. It's free. We're hoping so many people come along. There's many flat earthers. It would be great to see as possible. To show that solidarity that many people are waking up to this. And it's not little pockets of people. It's many people in the country who are waking up to it. And if we can show that united front, I think that'll be a huge message. But I'm sure, Robin, you think that.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the 28th, we've got Swindon followed by London. I think we'll still keeping Swindon in there. In the afternoon, go to London. And then on the 3rd is more of a grand finale, where we'll also have the press and the opportunity to present Flat Earth to them in a very formal press conference. And I'm sure, Roxanne, when you're ready, you'll share which press is going to be there.
Yeah, bit closer to the time.
Yeah.
But there's a few. I'm not going to lie, there's a few.
It's building.
I think it was at that point that I said to myself, no, look, this is everyone's journey. Everyone's got their own journey. Everyone's had their own journey, their own truth, their own path that they've taken. And we're out there going over the country nationally, trying to talk about this publicly. And by the time we get to November the 3rd, we'll be able to celebrate the fact that over 50 locations in 8 weeks have been achieved. It went from being an idea to being a reality to being done. And by the time we get there, we'll have done it. We'll have done over 50 locations, going from the most southerly point of England to the most northerly point of Scotland, including Ireland. And I think a lot's to be said for that. We're doing this to start conversations so that, like Chris said, people go home and start having conversations in the house. Do you know what happened today? I came across these banners and these people are out there telling me this, and it might be someone else in the family. Oh, I know, someone's been talking to me. We will hopefully want the members of our own family that aren't on board. You know what? This is everywhere now. Go on, start talking, because I'm going to have to hear this now. That's what we eventually want.
Agreed.
So, yeah. Is there anything else anyone wants to say?
I just think what we're building here is an awesome back catalogue of case studies. If you want to sell something in the business world, case studies and stories. And what Harry and the team are building up here is just a huge catalogue case studies, which will be there forever. You know, there'll be video records of all of those things, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
And like I've reiterated before, some of us might get on, some of us might not get on, but that's the way of life. Yeah, not everybody's going to be everyone's cup of tea, but this truth is so much bigger than us all. If we have a chance to get a lot of eyes on the situation for free, in some terms of the meaning, by having press there, by having mainstream media there, that's a whole lot more eyes and ears that are going to have an opportunity to start questioning what they've been taught. So with that being said, you know, all the infighting that's going on, it's doing my brain in. It is actually doing my brain in. It's like some next navigation that's got to go on with all the infighting. And really and truthfully, if you just take all of the nuts and bolts and everyone's little 2 bits worth, we all know we're not on a spinning ball. So the fact that we know we're not on a spinning ball should just be enough in its own right, where we should just all let bygones and be bygones and say, right, for the greater cause of the fact that we don't live on a spinning ball and we know we've been mugged off, lied to, and told the masses to start questioning this, because this is bang out of order. Bang out of order. That's where I'm coming from.
Speak it. No, agreed. Life's too short. Life's too short. We just got to press on, be positive, come together.
We do.
And we've all got so much in common. We really have way more in common than everybody else, really.
If I could just say, I think we should have more of that, looking at what we have in common, rather than what divides us. Too many people, I think, focus on what divides us rather than what we have in common. And we all know the strength in numbers. And as Roxanne said, you know, we don't have to like each other. Even some people might have suspicions about each other. But if everybody's willing to expose this lie, really that's what everybody wants.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, we've all got our own way of interacting with people. And yeah, we can police people, but I think it's far more helpful to help people. If people are brave enough to go out there on the front line, then help them. Don't police them. Help them. Help them. Don't police them. Just help them. No one's out there committing crimes, you know, so no one needs to be policed. If people aren't doing it right, in your opinion, then constructively criticize them and help them. Help them, because they are willing to go out there and speak to people on the streets of the UK. So, you know, whatever, you know, it's inevitable. Come on, it's inevitable. Things are going to be there that divide us. You only have to speak to someone that supports Manchester United and supports Chelsea to understand that. I see that with my partner. He's a Manchester United supporter. And every time he speaks to his dad, who's a Chelsea supporter, it ends up in an argument because they have a division with the football teams that they support. So it's inevitable as humans come across things where we have division over. I've been guilty of it. Yeah. I've been guilty of letting divisions get the better of me. And I, you know, far enough to know that, oh, do you know what? You have to be bigger than that. You actually have to be bigger than that and actually say, do you know what? It's not about me. It's really not about me at all. It's about the truth that I'm talking. And I can't not. You're there, Robin, because you can't not speak it. Harry, you're sitting where you're sitting because you can't not speak it. Chris has made the sacrifices he's made because he can't not speak it. John THOR can't not speak it. You know, everyone that's been there can't not speak it. No one's getting, you know, iron prodded up the backside to go and do this. We're voluntarily doing it. And all we want is everybody's support to get this out there because it's causing a big wave of conversations. You only have to look at some of the press that's been done so far to know that they're really not even battering us for this. Why? Because they haven't really got an argument to stand on. You only have to look at the press that's been done so far to know that we're not getting bent over a barrel by these people. We're not having it. We're not going out there and speaking this truth only to be made a mockery of 5 minutes into. It's your truth as well.
Well, they say truth prevails.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually.
It does. So, you guys are going to be out in Perth tomorrow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. And I take it you're going to go to whatever main high street in Perth that you're going to go to, right? Chris, what you did today was brilliant. When you guys were rolling into Aberdeen, you did an upload and said, "Look, we're rolling in there," and that I felt that was really helpful. Are you guys going to do that again?
It got quite a few people there, I think.
Yeah.
I'll do one tomorrow. An hour into where we're doing. Just a quick 2 minute.
It'd be a bit difficult because we're already in Perth, but we can still do one. Driving to
when we set off, we'll let everybody know half an hour. Yeah.
Brilliant. So when can we expect you going live tomorrow? Sometime between midday, 3 o'clock?
Yeah. Hopefully 12. There's a guy called who was doing a documentary on Flat Earth, hoping to get released on television. So he's already shot quite, and he's asking to meet to do a bit of filming tomorrow.
Excellent.
He wants to film the tour to put that into it because it's quite a big event in Flat Earth in the UK, so he wants to include that.
Oh, brilliant. Wonderful. So we can expect to see you going live tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will you link up with me tomorrow evening and do another update?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely, jubbly. What time roughly?
Well, any time it suits because we haven't got long traveling to do between now and tomorrow, so it's probably the shortest places we're going to visit on the trip. So there's not a lot of traveling involved. Hence why you see us moving fresh.
We've had a shower.
Any time after about 6:30 in the evening, I'll work around. After about 6:30 tomorrow night, I'll work around your schedule.
That's fine, thank you.
Yeah, work with you. Perfect. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to us tonight for the Globe Light UK Tour update live link with the guys on the tour bus. They're going to Perth tomorrow. All of the links for everybody who's been in is in the description box. So a few people were having a problem finding your channel. I put your channel in the description. So all everyone has to do is one click and they'll be at Robin's channel. One click and you'll be at Chris's and you'll be at Harry's channel. I gave Jason carte blanche to be here and he's been in the chat room. So Jason's channel's in box as well. I'm going to pop in you links in there for Sheeps and yeah, I want to thank you all for being in the chat room. Everybody that's been there from the get-go, thank you. And for everybody else that's tuned in, the chat so far gone, done over 20 minutes just trying to pan through it and see who I've said from who I haven't said. But trust me when I tell you, I really appreciate you taking the time out to watch us this evening and keep updated with what we're doing with the tour. I'm endeavouring to do this every day. I'm going to be joining the tour from the 19th for a week. And then, as you know, the tour's rolling through London on the 28th. And then getting back onto its destinations on the 29th, back into London for the finale on the 3rd of November. If there's anything that you can do, and I mean anything at all, whether it's the price of a coffee, the price of a beer, all of your donations are really helping to keep the wheels turning of this tour. This tour's a lot of money to keep on the road. By the time we're looking at the overheads for the camper van and the amount of mileage the guys have done in Scotland, going from one destination to the other, it's taken a lot. So trust me when I say every single one of your donations has massively helped keep the wheels turning. And if you can keep those donations coming in, we'd be massively appreciative. We're going to try and cause the biggest wave possible that this country's ever seen about talking about this subject. By the time we're finished, we want everyone talking about it. So please click the links in the donation in the description for the donations if you're able to, for PayPal, GoFundMe, and Patreon. Harry's channel if you haven't done so already, and click the notification bell so that you're notified when they go live tomorrow. Anyone wants to say? I will yield the floor. Robin, Chris, Harry, anyone want to say anything?
Oh, fantastic presentation again, Roxanne. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's getting more and more professional every day.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. And I also want to mention as well, as we go through this, that the closer we get to the 28th and the 3rd, we'll be giving you more details about the 3rd. One thing I want you to know for sure is the 3rd is happening. It's just about what location we're going to pick. The 3rd is happening, the end of tour finale. The press are going to be there. You're all going to get an opportunity to see what's going on. We're going to have a few presentations for everybody, chance to mingle, chance to talk amongst like-minded people. We're also going to be doing activism, because whatever location we do choose, which is the wonderful thing, is all the banners are going to be able to go up on the outside of the location. So we're going to be in the capital city, flat smacking. Meanwhile, we're having a free conference, which is music to my ears. Couldn't think of anything better. So yeah, we'll be updating you as we go. Once again, thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Robin, Chris, Harry, good night. Thank you for being here with me, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. Chat room.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Everybody.
Good night.
Take care.